This IAS officer's vision is to make Jalgaon an economic hub, driving its growth toward a $25 billion economy. Jalgaon's district collector, IAS officer Ayush Prasad, has laid out a strategic 31-point agenda focused on boosting agriculture productivity, expanding irrigation, and strengthening policy support for key industries like banana and cotton. He believes that with the right approach, Jalgaon can reclaim its lost economic share through food processing, infrastructure development, and innovation. In this conversation with Indian Masterminds, he shares his insights on the district's strength and challenges and the roadmap to transforming it into a thriving economic powerhouse in the next 4 years. Hello, I'm Muskan Khandelwal and you are watching Indian Masterminds. So without any further ado, let's begin. Thank you so much, sir, for joining Indian Masterminds today.
Namaskar, thank you so much for having me over.
So you plan to make Jalgaon a $25 billion economy, and that too in next 4 years. That's quite ambitious. So how achievable is this and what is the roadmap?
Well, I think that did catch a lot of eyeballs when we said that we'll make a district economy worth $25 billion.
Yeah.
So this actually derives from the mission that Honorable Prime Minister of India has set for the nation of becoming a $5 trillion economy. Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra has set a target of $1 trillion economy. So accordingly, if we work our maths backward, now Jalgaon is about 1.6% of Maharashtra's state GDP. And previously, about 25 years ago, it used to be 4% of state GDP. We have lost certain share because certain other areas have grown faster than how Jalgaon has grown because of better industrial development in that area.
Okay.
So our aim is to, one, catch up with rest of Maharashtra. So that is why between 1.6 to 4, so the midpoint we have calculated as 2.5. And $1 trillion, 2.5 becomes $25 billion economy.
Right.
So this is a target that we have set for ourselves. It is very much possible, and we have a 31-point agenda on trying to achieve this. And as we talk about it, I think concentrating on the 4 sectors and trying to grow annually by around 17% at current prices, we should be able to achieve this target that sounds ambitious. Currently, Jalgaon's economy is just about $10 billion.
Okay.
So we are about 80,000 crore worth of economy. At $2.5 billion, if the exchange rate remains the same, we'll be about $2 lakh billion. So we have to basically little more than double what we are currently.
So you aim to tap into all the major sectors in Jalgaon, and I guess the most prominent sector in Jalgaon is agriculture. But sometimes it's generally we see in India agriculture is not that much profitable. So what are your plans to increase the economic output from agriculture?
If I may tell you about Jalgaon, बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग सी चीज है कि जलगांव में एक बनाना का बहुत बड़ा बेल्ट है.
Right.
जब मैं बनाना के बेल्ट बात करता हूँ, इंडिया में एंड ग्लोबली सबसे ज्यादा प्रोडक्टिव बनाना अगर कहीं पर है तो जलगांव में. बट उसका एक मतलब दुष्परिणाम है. वन ऑफ द मेजर प्रॉब्लम्स जो है, वी यूज फर्टिलाइजर्स अ लॉट एंड वी एक्सट्रैक्ट ग्राउंड वाटर अ लॉट. So to make, now the challenge is that we are already doing so well in banana. So how do we link banana to more export markets? Currently, Jalgaon banana is reaching about 16 markets: Iran, Middle East, Russia, and certain parts of Africa, and in East Asia.
Okay.
Now the aim is to ensure that banana is more accessible to larger markets where we compete with Ecuador, so for European markets and America, so something like that. So the aim of taking Jalgaon banana global, one of the things is how do we reduce the use of pesticide and insecticides and reduce the the residue that is available in our banana, because it should be able to meet the quarantine requirements of some of these countries, the European standards of requirements. So that is one major challenge that we have. Second is how do we create ripening chambers, because we don't really need cold storages here. Instead, we require ripening chambers. So वो एक दूसरा challenge when it comes to banana. Third is, of course, we need to plan banana output in a way, because if you study the banana cycle, what happens is एक टाइम पे बहुत ज्यादा बनाना मार्केट में कभी-कभी फ्लड कर देते हैं और कभी-कभी हम कम बनाना मार्केट में दे पाते हैं. तो इसको साल भर में कैसे डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर सके. अब इसमें मेजर प्रॉब्लम जो हमें आज के डेट में फेस करते हैं, ये है इंश्योरेंस का साइकिल. इंश्योरेंस का प्लांटिंग एंड हार्वेस्टिंग साइकिल फिक्स्ड है. इधर आप रबी सीजन में कर सकते हैं या खरीफ सीजन में कर सकते हैं। इसकी वजह से फार्मर्स एनकरेज होते हैं कि अगर बनाना में लॉसेस भी काफी होती है, कभी कोई क्रॉप इन्फेस्टेशन हो जाता है, कोई क्रॉप डिसीज आ जाता है, या कभी बारिश हो गया, हेल स्टॉर्म आ गया, तो इस प्रकार में लॉसेस बहुत ज्यादा होती है। सो द एम इज टू हाउ डू वी प्रोवाइड पॉलिसी सपोर्ट टू देम सो दैट वो साल में कभी भी बनाना लगाए। एंड बनाना का मार्केट ऑलमोस्ट नेशन वाइड एंड ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड स्टेबल है, एक्सेप्ट जब मैंगो मार्केट में आता है। तो मैंगो जब आता है मार्केट में, वी शुड हैव लेस प्रोडक्शन। तो दिस इज वन बिग चैलेंज दैट वी हैव व्हेन इट कम्स टू banana production, for example. Now, second largest crop in Jalgaon is what we talk about is cotton.
Cotton.
Now, cotton, we have had an ecosystem going in cotton right from the 1860s, जब American Civil War में Jalgaon became one of the major hubs for cotton. And because of that, we have a very good rail network in Jalgaon.
Okay.
Now, इसका use अब cotton में हमारा problem है कि we are 100 kilos per hectare less productivity than Maharashtra, half of national's productivity, and global averages, global best standards जो है in Australia, China, etc. वहां से we are about 1/4 of their productivity. Now, this is a major challenge about how do we increase cotton yield, and that can only be possible if we get cotton under assured irrigation. Currently, 8 large irrigation projects are going on in Jalgaon district. That will increase our irrigation from about 1.5 lakh hectares by 2 more lakh hectares, roughly 1.94 lakh hectares, if we realize this. So in the next 2 years, all our honorable public representatives have decided that in the next 2 years, we must focus on ensuring that we finish these irrigation projects, the command areas, and then we have very interesting projects. We are building about 2,000 farm ponds in a cluster of about 27 villages. Now, these sort of things will ultimately lead to large areas being brought under assured irrigation. One crop now, if you look at Jalgaon, just talking about agriculture, only 28% of the land goes in for second crop.
Okay.
Okay. So if we can increase what is called net cropped area, if we can increase it from 28% to say about 75%, which we'll manage if we increase irrigation, especially in the cotton belt, and that will help in increasing our productivity. That will help us in increasing our area that is coming under crops throughout the year, and that will overall help in improving the economy of Jalgaon. That will help in so in agriculture, these two areas. Third, of course, is there are certain areas which are less productive. So Jalgaon, food oils, for example, started out in Jalgaon, one of the major centers. Currently, we don't have food oil. Jalgaon was once known as Dal Nagri. Again, we have 82 dal mills, but majority of the raw material is coming from Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, and other parts of Maharashtra. So now the third aim is how do we get back these other crops which we can call minor crops. So for example, dal, what we did was we ran a campaign last year that how about getting intercropping with cotton.
Okay.
So उसमें क्या हुआ कि हमारा एरिया अंडर दाल इंक्रीज बाय 17%. आज दाल मिल को जो रॉ मटेरियल का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा था उस पे कुछ हद तक, मतलब ऑब्वियसली कैपेसिटी काफी ज्यादा है, तो कुछ हद तक उसमें प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हुआ. कॉटन की प्रोडक्टिविटी या लेग्यूमिनस क्रॉप लगाने की वजह से बढ़ी. तो इस प्रकार से हम लोग इसमें काम कर पा रहे हैं. हमारे पास रफली 3,000 हेक्टेयर हमने इंडिविजुअल फॉरेस्ट राइट्स में दिए हैं in the Satpura mountains that are between Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. So 3,000 hectares of forest land जहाँ पे अभी तक pesticide and fertilizer residue बहुत कम है, तो उसको हम चिलीज में कन्वर्ट करना चाहते हैं बिकॉज उसका ऑर्गेनिक चिली का बहुत ज्यादा डिमांड है. तो हम लोग इस प्रकार के डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ आइडियाज हम एग्रीकल्चर में ट्राई करके वी आर ट्राइंग टू इंश्योर कि ईच ब्लॉक में वी हैव इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर दैट सपोर्ट्स वन और मोर टाइप ऑफ क्रॉप्स. वी मेक गुड क्लस्टर्स. We give good policy support. We bring more areas under irrigation. Latest techniques of agriculture को हम promote कर पाएं. किसान क्रेडिट कार्ड के साथ साथ एग्रीकल्चर टर्म लोन को भी हम प्रमोट कर पाएं. एंड जो आज जलगांव का एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर जो अबाउट 3-3.5% से बढ़ रहा है, उसको डबल करके अबाउट 9 to 10% रेंज में अगर हम ला पाए तो उसका परिणाम ये रहेगा. एंड दिस इज पॉसिबल. एमपी में हुआ है, महाराष्ट्र के कुछ जिलों में हुआ है. तो दिस इज वेरी मच पॉसिबल कि इन द नेक्स्ट 4-5 years जो टाइम पीरियड हम बात कर रहे हैं, तो हमारा अगर एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर बढ़ता है, ऑटोमेटिकली मनी सर्कुलेशन काफी बढ़ेगा और इकोनॉमी में ओवरऑल परिणाम बढ़ेगा.
तो आपने बताया अभी जब आप बनाना प्रोडक्शन की बात कर रहे थे कि देयर आर सम चैलेंजेस, तो हाउ आर यू ओवरकमिंग दोस चैलेंजेस?
नो, फर्स्ट ऑफ कोर्स इज कि इसमें ना कोई भी चीज को अगर हमको ग्रो करना है उसमें चैंपियंस चाहिए. You cannot, as an officer, you can be a catalyst. You cannot be that champion. You cannot be that entrepreneur. You cannot be that farmer जो आज change करने को decide करता है. So of course it is a lot of motivation, reaching out to farmers, creating institutions of farmers. Right. So one approach that we are now working on, it's not done on a very large scale, but we've started. That is, we have what is called primary credit societies of farmers. ये लोग basically एक group of farmers को loan बांटते हैं गांव में, मतलब in very simple terms. तो इनको हम एज एन एफपीओ भी रजिस्टर कर रहे हैं. तो ये जिला भर में जो ऑलमोस्ट 350 इस क्रेडिट सोसाइटीज है, प्राइमरी क्रेडिट सोसाइटीज, उसके सारे फार्मर्स को अगर हम एफपीओ में रजिस्टर करते हैं तो वी विल हैव रफली अबाउट 4 लाख फार्मर्स इन एफपीओस. एंड उसके थ्रू डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ स्कीम्स जो आत्मा अंतर्गत है, कोऑपरेटिव डिपार्टमेंट के स्कीम्स हैं, इन सारे एग्रीकल्चर डिपार्टमेंट के कुछ स्कीम्स हैं, इन सारे स्कीम्स को देकर हम लोग फूड प्रोसेसिंग में ला सकते हैं. अब जैसे बनाना में सबसे बड़ा एक वेस्टेड आइटम है, जैसे साउथ में जब बनाना, दक्षिण भारत में जब बनाना निकलता है, सो व्हाट दे डू इज दे यूज द लीव्स फॉर एज अ प्लेट.
Yes.
In Maharashtra, we don't have that culture, and since it dries up very fast, you cannot really transport banana leaves to long distances. So, but we have what is called the banana stem, again a wasted product. But if banana stem को अगर हम crush कर सके, and crush करके if we can make what is called banana fibers, then you suddenly create an entire market where banana fibers can be used to create things like bags, baskets, and things like shirts, wallets, etc. So now we have certain units. We are requesting for a PLI scheme, that is product linked incentive scheme for banana fiber production. And we have about 206 villages that currently produce banana. So in each village, because again this is a weight losing and heavy to transport item. So what we are planning to do is create these micro enterprises in these villages through Manrega, where we create, मनरेगा में 28 lakh rupees का एक गोडाउन बना सकते हैं. That is 100 metric ton. So creating these small godowns in all of these places, we have done some of them in the past. So creating such godowns, giving that machinery there, extracting banana fiber, and then banana fiber से then forward linkages करके उसके आप multiple other industries बन सकते हैं. So these sort of agro processing भी हम कर सकते हैं. Right. Now just to give you another example, we have quite a well developed economy with regard to goatry and poultry. अब गोट्री पोल्ट्री में एक प्रॉब्लम क्या हुआ है, बिकॉज प्रोडक्शन इतना बढ़ता जा रहा है, वी आर नॉट हैविंग व्हाट इज कॉल्ड राइज इन प्राइसेस. सो आप बस याद करो, चिकन का जो पर केजी रेट आज से 4-5 साल पहले था, आज भी वही पर केजी रेट है, या मटन का जो रेट था वही आज भी रेट है. सो ऑब्वियसली उसका मार्केट एक्सपैंड करने की जरूरत है. सो इसमें आज के डेट में एक सनराइज इंडस्ट्री जो हमने आइडेंटिफाई किया, विच इज एन इंडस्ट्री विद रिगार्ड टू पेट फूड. जो पेट्स है हमारे, डॉग एंड कैट फूड है, तो उसमें बेसिकली उनका जो रॉ मटेरियल फिश है, उसमें हमारा गोट्री का मटन मीट है और चिकन मीट एंड एग है. तो इसका हमारे पास रॉ मटेरियल अच्छी संख्या में उपलब्ध है. एंड ऑब्वियसली उसकी लिंकेजेस जो है हम मेजर मार्केट्स लाइक मुंबई, पुणे वगैरह में नहीं कर पाते बिकॉज ऑफ डिस्टेंस के फैक्टर. बट ये जो बोलते पैकेज फूड है, जो पेट्स में लार्जली यूज होता है, वो उसका एक हम क्लस्टर बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं सदर्न पार्ट ऑफ द डिस्ट्रिक्ट में. एंड हमारी यही कोशिश है कि अगर वो हम डेवलप कर पाए, तो ये जो रॉ मटेरियल जो हमारे पास जनरेट हो रहा है, उसको हाउ वी कैन यूज दैट रॉ मटेरियल. सिमिलरली फॉर कॉटन, वी हैव अबाउट 35 जिनिंग मिल्स इन द डिस्ट्रिक्ट. बट दैट जिनिंग मिल, अगेन we have enough cotton production that can sustain about 65 jining mills. So roughly about 40% of our cotton is going out of the district as raw material. Okay. We are not even ginning them. Spinning की बात तो आगे आती है. So our aim is कि how we can do forward linkages in the ecosystem. And now the bigger challenges is कि अभी cotton का 20 year का commodity cycle होता है. So अभी जो हम economy में जो trend देख रहे हैं, the prices are going down. So unless we brand that cotton or brand the cloth that we make, unless we have a last marketing linkages with a branded, like any big brand that is selling in the market, we will not have a sufficient market for garments. Now we also have a very large economy with regard to plastics. अब आप जान के आपको हैरान होगा, जलगांव में कन्याकुमारी से, कोलकाता से, दिल्ली से, राजस्थान, जयपुर से, अहमदाबाद से, गुजरात से कम, बट अदर स्टेट से लार्जली जो वेस्ट प्लास्टिक है फॉर रिसाइकलिंग इधर आता है. एंड रफली 400 यूनिट्स काम कर रही हैं इस सेक्टर में टू क्रिएट व्हाट इज कॉल्ड चटाई, the plastic chatai and hangers. These are the two major products that are coming out of Jalgaon. And now 400 odd units are working on it, and roughly 10,500 people are employed in this this entire ecosystem.
That's nice.
Now, the bigger challenge in this is the raw material for virgin plastic, though it has a different HSN code, and a raw material for recycled plastic, they are different HSN code, but raw materials are charged at the same GST level at 18%. So one of the requests from the industry partners who are working here are that they want to lower GST so that they get a credit advantage of 10% of the roughly 13% of the price. So this one advantage. दूसरा पावर लूम्स में जो कपड़े में जो लोग पावर लूम्स में काम करते हैं उनको पावर सब्सिडी वगैरह मिलती है, बट जो प्लास्टिक उसमें यूज करते हैं चटाई वगैरह बनाते हैं उनको पावर सब्सिडी नहीं मिलती. हमारा इंडस्ट्री जलगांव में ओरिजिनल MIDC 1965 में बना था, एंड बाकी जगह के MIDC का अर्थ है जो महाराष्ट्र इंडस्ट्रियल डेवलपमेंट कॉर्पोरेशन के जो पार्क्स है, इंडस्ट्रियल पार्क्स है. तो दीज पार्क्स वर क्रिएटेड मच लेटर इन जलगांव. तो उसका मतलब Jalgaon was first and other areas were much later. So Jalgaon were originally not given the zone certificate जो था मतलब least developed zones का. So we have certain disadvantage with other regions. So there is a lot of effort that public representatives are putting in to get this kind of GST support and all of those sort of things. So these are some of the policy decisions. Of course, if you get effluent treatment plants in place for them, because these are small units and they're not able to afford effluent treatment plants, if we can help them get recycler certificate, that are internationally recognized. Again, small unit, they don't have the wherewithal to get those certificates. If we allow help for these two, the fact that they're doing recycled plastic, they're creating pellets, plastic chatais and hangers, etc. This creates an automatic export market for them. So this is another sector which a bit of support from administration and government side and all of those. This can help in growing Jalgaon's economy in a very large. Jalgaon, we have increased our electricity production by 82%. We were producing 1210 megawatts. We are increasing it to almost 2100 megawatts in another 2 to 3 months. So 1660 megawatt ka thermal power plant is coming up. That is going to get into commercial operations very soon. We have a program called Mukhyamantri Saur Krushi Vahini Yojana, जो भारत सरकार का कुसुम योजना का एक सब कॉम्पोनेंट है, जहां पर हम सोलराइजेशन ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर फीडर का काम कर रहे हैं. So उसमें we have given about 4000 acres of land for installation of solar parks. So in the first phase, 328 megawatts has been tendered out. Second phase ka tender is also under process. So roughly around 900 megawatts wahan se niklega. So just these two will more than double. And abhi jo first phase mein 328 plus 660, that again would increase energy availability by 82%. We have a distribution network of 1700 megawatts and the peak load of only 1400 megawatts. An average load of 1000 megawatts. So 700 megawatts distribution capacity is available. So power availability is there. Number two, we have, as I was mentioning, 8 large irrigation projects.
Yes.
Water reservation availability is there. Say, be it the Waghur Dam, the Hatnur Dam, so on and so forth. We have the Tapi River flowing into this district. So that is there. We are the only district possibly in India with 6 national highways crossing it. We have a very good rail network. We have 2 railway divisions that are there, central and western, that function out in Jalgaon. So we have a good capacity to attract industry. And we also have large industrial notified parks in Bhusawal, in Jamner, in Pachora, Chalisgaon, multiple areas. Jalgaon, Kusumba coming up. So we have large industrial parks, and regional plan maybe we have certain areas that are outside the government industrial parks that can be also used for industries. So power, and most importantly, we have a portal of Bharat Sarkar which registers educated unemployed people. 155,000 people are registered there from Jalgaon district. And, anybody who's looking at this, we are wanting to welcome industry here. There's a lot of potential, and with your help, I'm sure we would get the message across to the right people. And even and all sorts of sectors, startup sector to the large sector, to the large manufacturers.
That's really nice. So can you please share a model or an example where you have successfully integrated all the aspects like fisheries, poultry into farming, aquaculture and vegetable farming into the farming के sector में पूरा?
नहीं, अपने हमारे एग्जांपल्स भी हैं. मैं जैसे एक जामनेर के उदाहरण दे रहा था. 2020 फार्म पॉन्ड्स आर अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन, जिसमें 170 वी हैव कंप्लीटेड टिल डेट, एंड बाय 31st of May वी आर होपिंग टू फिनिश रफली 2020. लेट्स से 100 नहीं होते बिकॉज ऑफ सम लोकल डिस्प्यूट्स, बट 1900 डेफिनेटली वी आर वर्किंग ऑन कंप्लीट. So in these farm ponds that have been completed, now these farm ponds have two sources of water. One is canal water that is flowing out of the Wagur dam, and the second is rainwater harvesting that will happen for half the season, and half the season water that flows out of the Wagur dam. So this creates a good space. So this farm pond creates a good space for fisheries. So we have a clear model where about 5,25,000 is the net investment that is there, where you have three types of fishes that you put for the three layers in the farm pond, and you basically harvest fish there. Second is, if you can create certain structures on the farm ponds, we can do what is called this aquatic-based soil-less agriculture.
Aquaculture.
With regard to growing what is called some vegetables. So we have certain vegetables that can grow well in the season. Most common example being cucumber, but there are many other more exotic vegetables that grow. And then there are hotels that require soil-less because residue-free. This thing which require this kind, and they are willing to do what is called contract farming. So we have managed to do this in a few farm ponds, and then I'm having a meeting. We are trying to push what is called an express credit, that if a farmer applies, you just immediately sanction. So banks, everybody does not want to create that kind of liability. So I said, take a first step, let's do fisheries. And now when I was talking about fisheries, fish oil as well as poultry, pet food, these are the two sectors that we feel that we can immediately create. And then there are ready-made models for, how it can be done. So we have done this. Even in my previous district, there are a few examples that we managed to do. But any of these things takes that entrepreneurial spirit. And that is something that as administrators, we are trying to basically push here. And agriculture and manufacturing are good sectors, but along with that, services is the largest sector of our district economy, almost 48% as per our state economic survey in our district. So it is, we are not just wanting to grow the manufacturing and agro processing and agriculture. The fourth sector that we are very focused on in growing is also services sector. So I'll tell you something very interesting about the services sector. What has happened is, we have the North Maharashtra Kavitri Bhainabai Chaudhary Uttar Maharashtra Vidyapeeth. That is the North Maharashtra University in Jalgaon. In this university, they have a course called Actuarial Sciences, and which is the only place in Maharashtra, and probably, as far as I know, very few places in India actually offer this kind of course. Now, this is a very unique skill set, and that is in very high demand in the insurance and the reinsurance sector. Now, this creates an automatic opportunity for what is called insurance consulting. People should not be doing this course and getting into the IT sector or getting into marketing. This is a unique skill set that we want to develop and further grow. So we have an incubation center in the university. So we have been working with the university, the vice chancellor and everybody else, and trying to push them that how about creating certain consultancies around this, this actuarial sciences, and, get your students together, get some larger companies together. And how do we basically create an ecosystem around it? So this is something that we are aiming in as I was talking about, 31 high growth, high potential, sustainable sectors that we can basically aim at. With regard to, we have roughly about some temples now, tourism. Now, tourism is basically related to, in Jalgaon, we have done few projects. I'll basically highlight 3 projects that basically highlight how Jalgaon can grow as a tourism hub. Now, if you know, Jalgaon is only about 40 odd kilometers. Jalgaon's airport is about 40 odd kilometers, takes 40 minutes to going to the Ajanta caves. Okay. So if you want to visit Ajanta caves, you should fly into Jalgaon airport, which is connected to 5 cities: Mumbai, Hyderabad, Pune, Ahmedabad and Goa. So if you fly into Jalgaon, so just 40 minutes out of the airport. So near this Ajanta caves, we have created a resort, Beakwood Emerald Resort, from the PWD and the tourism department. Now, the uniqueness of this resort is this is in the backwaters of a major dam. There's an island that did not get submerged. So land that did not get submerged became an island. On that island, irrigation, tourism and PWD have created a resort, a lovely resort with boat houses, with bamboo huts, with stone structured houses, villas, rooms, etc.
Okay.
So it is a very high potential irrigation place, and now the demand for this resort is skyrocketing. So this is one of those places you must visit. And the best thing to do in this place is because you don't have any electricity or light around this area. You're in the middle of a large reservoir. So if you do stargazing, this is one of the best places to do stargazing in case you're interested. You also get migratory birds in this area. So that is one. Second is we have about 6. We are in the buffer area of between large tiger sanctuaries, and roughly 6 tigers have transited or are in our tiger sanctuaries currently. So we have created a safari around it. Not more like a safari. It's not an official safari of sorts, but it's more like a movement path where you can actually see. So I don't promise tiger spotting there because of course it is just migratory once in a while. But you can see all sorts of other animals. Again, lovely places, good hutments, etc. And you must visit. This is in a place called Pal. And third is, we have a lot of spiritual tourism in this district. So we have one of the 2 Mangal Mandirs. So if you are Mangal Doshi and large number of people before they get married come to the place. So, so these sort of things are very much available. And just giving you an example. So tourism department has invested in about 219 of such locations.
Okay.
So getting the basic infrastructure in place and so on and so forth.
How about the handicraft sector? वहाँ पे handicraft से लोगों को बहुत employment generate होता है, SHG women उसके साथ जब शामिल होती है तो वो सेक्टर कैसा है जलगांव में?
जलगांव में handicraft sector अच्छा है. We have large amount of garmenting that we do. We have SHG companies that are taking up job works for larger designers and things like that. The aim is to link them to them. Traditional handicrafts famous from Jalgaon per se nahi hai, but we do produce all sorts of modern handicrafts. So traditional handicrafts mein jo paithani sari वगैरह बोलते हैं, that is in another district of Maharashtra. But we do any stuff that you get in any shopping mall, for example. So uska job work large number of SHG women are doing, and we are planning on supporting one SHG group with that will give employment to almost 600 odd women to do handicraft. We have created clusters in Jalgaon and another place in Jalgaon district. So that is one sector again that we feel that can really grow. Right. Of course, there are challenges. Yes. One of the bigger challenges was that law and order situation. Okay. So we have taken a lot of steps with regard to law and order situation. We have the number of people we have booked under preventive chapter cases, जिसको कहते हैं preventive action, is about 8,000 plus. People who have been preventively detained are also about 78 in the last 1.5 years. So things like this, and the impact has been the crime has reduced marginally in variety of detection is 100%. So, this organized crime or whatever low-level organized crime that we used to have, that we managed to pull down. Social skirmishes also we managed to pull down. So this was one big challenge that was there. We managed to do this. Okay. Motivating our farmers, motivating local entrepreneurs, because small businesses won't be set up by people coming from different parts of the country. Right. Small businesses have to be set up by local entrepreneurs. They would be staffed by local people itself. So that is something that we have been trying to motivate through our Rotary clubs, through our industrial associations and so on and so forth. People have been taking it positively. The question of course remains is how much can we keep pushing them so that projects start getting finalized. We are hoping that we continue to improve ourselves and we reach the level of development that Pune has achieved, and Jalgaon has the potential to be like that, and we are doing everything that we can, working quite hard as we possibly can, and hoping that some of those things do bear fruit, because interviews like this in a few years from now, somebody would send you back and say, "Kya hua tera wada?" So, because when you're trying a lot of things, some things succeed and some things don't. But we are very confident, but because we have the ecosystem in place, the policies in place, and the potential that is definitely there, that Jalgaon can catch up, because Jalgaon has in fact gone down, because we used to be much higher before in share of GDP. We can catch up and of course outdo what we were in 2000.
Right. So thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time, and I hope आपका जो vision है, जो 4 साल में आपको करना है, you could achieve it, और लोगों को काफी benefit मिले इससे. Thank you so much for giving your time.
Thank you so much for having me over. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So that was Jalgaon District Collector Ayush Prasad. What do you think about his vision? Let us know in the comments. Stay tuned for more such conversations with change makers shaping India's development. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Indian Masterminds for more insightful interviews.